I want you to picture this scenario and tell me if it sounds right to you.
All right.
You take a securities job.
Okay.
Warehouse on the outskirts of town.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even watching the goods. You're just like in front somewhere.
You don't know a box in front of the...
Yeah, maybe you go around the perimeter. You do some... You're more the perimeter guy. You're just walking around, making sure there's no riffraff going on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know much about the company. You don't know much about the boss. It's a temp job.
Yeah, okay.
Pays the bills. No benefits.
Mm-mm.
Crap overnight hours, but the pay's okay. Maybe even under the table. I don't know. We can get into that another day. You're doing your job. You hear like a ping. What the fuck was that? And you're like, oh, Jesus, it's something I got to do now. You're not invested.
Yeah.
You don't want to get shot for whatever could be this merchandise is, right?
You wait a really long time to hear if there's another sound. Like, come on, don't be another sound. Don't be another sound.
That's what you're hoping. But something worse happens. All of a sudden, a shadowy figure drops in front of you and socks you right in the fucking jaw and just shatters your face, destroys your life forever.
Yeah.
You have no health care, no benefits, nothing. No insurance. You're fucking wrecked. Turns out you were a henchman for the Joker or the Riddler or any...
And Batman just fucking mollywopped you.
You got off lightly if he just mollywopped you.
Yeah, right.
He just broke your face. If the dental bills and all that stuff, that's lightly. If he broke your body, that's a whole nother can of worms. So who's really the bad guy here in this scenario? The Joker or Two-Face or whoever is employing down on their luck guys to do the, simple job, or the guy who's just beating the shit out of innocent henchmen?
Well, this brings up, they recently just did a little mini event in some of the Batman books about this, where something happens to Batman in this event, and he ends up really exhausted him, and he's asleep for a couple weeks. Just his body's just wrecked and torn. So in that time, Catwoman almost kind of makes this union thing where she goes and gets all the henchmen from all the different major guys and gives them jobs stealing from the uber rich and the people, almost like a Robin Hood kind of thing, where it's not the best thing, but it's definitely better because now the Jokers, the Two-Faces, the Riddlers, if they don't have anybody to pull off their schemes, and then Batman wakes up and he finds this out and he's just no, this isn't right.
Is Batman a union buster?
Well, he's just mad that they're letting some crime happen, even they're still robbing from the rich, the uber rich, but it's still just a crime. It's just that Batman black and white of just never no crime will not happen to me, will happen to anybody else.
I think Batman's a goddamn union buster. I think he's rich.
Yeah,
he's not pro union. So in capitalist society, Batman's the bad guy.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, well, because there's always that thing okay, Bruce Wayne fucking runs around in leather and spandex, punching people in the face, or he could just take his billions of dollars and try to make Gotham not so shitty.
Yeah, every time he starts an orphanage or something, it just goes to the wayside, and then it creates more villains because it's so destitute and shitty. Good job, Batman. Why does it keep popping? You hear that?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know I think our mixer's fucking blowing the...
It's been blowing for a couple months now.
I might buy a new one at the end of the new year, for the new year. I just might say fuck it. I'm tired of
doing this.
Yeah. I mean, after I edit it, people usually don't hear the popping or the levels changing, but we hear it, and it's annoying.
Now, whenever you go to edit, can you hear the pop when you're editing? Do you actually have to edit the pop out?
No, you don't. I mean, at most, it's a very light noise that nobody notices, but it's never it's ear splitting to us.
Oh, yeah.
It's really fucking loud, and I don't know why it started that in the last few months. Regardless, that's where we're at. And if you folks haven't guessed, this is going to be a DBS. Maybe we'll do DBS all the way.
Really?
We were flirting with the idea of doing, because we're almost 100. This is what, 96 or...
If it is a yeah, because you said in the message, you said we were at 95.
Yeah.
So this would be 96.
So for 100, we might get just blitz drunk and just do stupid shit. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have a bunch more just so we can speed that up.
Get to that point. We need one of those.
You are listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me today, Spencer, the Arlington Attitude Adjuster Church.
Yeah, just in those.
A.
Yeah, just in those attitudes.
Yeah, they can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing the attitude. John Cena's
Yeah.
attitude adjustment, which was better when it was the FU.
Yeah.
That was the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was edgy.
Well, he was also better whenever, like, because when he first came on, it was still towards, like, the attitude that...
It was the ruthless aggression era.
But, like, he could still get away with, like, making fun of people, like, really, like, calling people whores and raps and... you know what I mean? Like, he didn't really do so much that after a while. After kind of got into that, like, PG era.
Yeah, then he was just happy John Cena, superhero,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan in the 80s bullshit. You can't see me. Today is going to be a brainstorming episode that people love. They love the brain and the storming of the brains. So we have two anthology things. One's a contest. One's not an anthology. So there is a contest, and I'm not going to tell people the names of the contest because one, I don't remember and I don't want to look it up. And two, you're not going to be my competition.
Yeah.
Actually, the one's going to be over. The one is only 7 days.
Yeah.
It opens on...
It's very short.
Yeah, December 10th to the 17th.
So probably by the time they hear this, it'll be
done. We're close to it. That one is interesting. It is a winter holiday theme. You have to write a story about a winter holiday. These are horror. Both of these are horror. And it tops out at 300 words, so 100 to 300 words. That is tough. I wrote one in the last 20 minutes before you got here. I wrote one. I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
But I can read it because it's only 300 words. So you want to see what I got?
Yeah.
So I don't have to brainstorm, but maybe we could brainstorm a way to fix it. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I erased some stuff, and now it's exactly 300 words.
I mean, 300's rough because when we used to do off-flash fiction, it was like 500.
Yeah. Well, this is microfiction.
Yeah, that explains it.
Yeah. All right, so working title, Razor Blade Santa. Cool title, I guess. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You welcome little Olivia and her mother as they enter the Crown Heights Mall. The bane of retail workers nationwide, the song mercifully faded into the background as the holiday chaos swallowed the two like a festive avalanche. I like that line. Festive avalanche.
Yeah.
Where's Santa? Olivia asked her mother, but her question went unheard amidst the frantic crowd. With 1 week until Christmas, madness supplanted any holiday cheer one might hope to find. Curious onlookers were more likely to catch an errant elbow than see a warm smile. Fortunately, Olivia's mother didn't bring her to the mall to shop. That's one of the lines I had to delete because I had an extra like 2 sentences in there talking about how they're going to the line to meet Santa. I had to delete that because I needed room. So now you just got, didn't bring her to shop. They braved the horde of last-minute shoppers and managed to reach Santa's line unscathed. How long, Mommy? Soon, Olivia's mother said, more engrossed with the news bulletin flashing across a department store display TV than the line's progression. Olivia followed her mother's eye line to the television. A picture of a young girl was morbidly presented with the words, "Victim found dead," in bold letters beneath it. The story unfolded in the closed captioning at the bottom of the screen. And police have yet to comment, but it's believed 6-year-old Gabby Donnery is Razor Jack's 5th victim. It's too early to confirm, but the sanitation worker who found the body told Channel 9's Amy Merkowitz that the killer's calling card, 3 bloody razors, were... The line pushed ahead so a pillar blocked their view. Olivia's mother squeezed her hand tightly. "I love you," she said, smiling down at her daughter. "Next!" Without warning, an irritable elf took Olivia's hand and rushed her toward Santa. Up ahead, a fat man with a salt and pepper beard sat, grinning at the little girl with his baked bean teeth. Light glinted off of something metallic in his hand. And that's it. That's all I was able to get. And I really wanted to have some clues that the Santa was going to be the Razor Jack. And then, like, I actually deleted the line where before the news when I was talking about the news bulletin, the little girl looked just like Olivia. It was so you get a serial killer with a type.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because I had to delete all the details. And that's all I came up with. But, I mean, that's not going to win the contest, but I might just submit it. It's free.
Yeah, right.
So I'll submit it for shits and giggles.
At least worst case scenario, that's a good beginning of something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why I really want... the name, just Razor Blade, was something in my head that I just wanted to use something with a razor blade. What about you? Have you flirted with any ideas for this?
No, not really.
It's really tough. Are you going to write one? I mean, you would have to stop what you're doing for the one anthology.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I think that one I'm just going to have to skip altogether probably.
Well, then let's move to the longer one. There is a paid anthology. Is it an anthology or magazine?
I think it's in like an anthology.
Well, they pay 4 cents per word.
Yeah.
And you can write up to 10,000 words.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that one.
Yeah, I'm going to get as close to 10,000 as I can.
That one is due in March, and it's the only downside, it comes out in 2025.
Yeah.
But it's due in March, and that one is, I think the theme is just cold.
Or like winter or something, like winter horror or something like that.
Let me look. I'm pretty sure, because the short one was the winter holiday. I thought the other one, I saved them both because I kept having to look at where I sent you, and we sent so many fucking reels to each other. This is impossible. Oh, I hate that Instagram has the archive too. What the fuck do I look up? Saved.
Yeah, I was going to save.
All right. I almost never use that feature, and I really should.
I do, and then I forget all about them, and then I just have a whole bunch in there.
Yeah, and this one's from, I don't know what the other one was, but this is a somewhat decent publisher. Released in January 2025. They got a cool name for the press. It just says Cold Anthology.
Okay, cool.
But they have a description. So winter is a setting that lends itself to various horror tales. So yeah, just things set in the winter or cold. So do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I told you off air, I only have like a basic premise or theme in my head, and I'm pretty sure I'm cribbing this off a comic or something I've read or
everything's
a movie.
off of everything now, so
yeah, but I want to do something with the idea. Maybe this will go more towards body horror. I find I've been gravitating towards body horror stuff lately.
With what you just read, and then like your maggot story you were telling me about.
I just think it is. Because it's like the most personal thing, because it's literally something happening to, like, if something happens to your body,
yeah,
like that's because like mental and psychological stuff, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But when it's like, say somebody's just slowly chopping your finger off, like you have to watch somebody chop that would be the most fucking horrific thing you would go through, at least at the moment until they get to other parts.
Yeah.
But my idea was I wanted to do something. Almost like Stephen King's Thinner, but colder. Like somebody, like I'm thinking of a woman, and she keeps getting colder and colder. But unlike other takes on that, where it's like, is the person dead, or is they a zombie, or something like that? Like I want her to be alive and functioning, but she just keeps getting colder, and I would have to find like it would be a lot to unpack there, but that's all I got is like I want to do something where somebody keeps getting colder. Because we talked about like that story I had for Horoscope Volume 3 was in a winter setting, would have been perfect for that anthology. Because then with the 10,000 word count, that's 5,000 extra words I could have used. I could have really fleshed it out and gave it the ending I wanted.
Yeah.
Because that story was split into 2 chunks, and I had to not rush the chunks, but I didn't fill it out the way I would want to. Because, you know, I write long.
Yeah.
That's where I have. I don't know. What do you think I could do with that? Gypsy's Curse. Just take Thinner, but just make it colder.
Cold, yeah.
That's old enough now. Like young kids aren't gonna know.
I wonder if it would still qualify if like as you would have her like, you know, maybe you'd have the whole story like set in her house and her just dealing with this big cold, and you know other stuff is also going on. But then like at the end of the story, you realize like it's actually like the middle of summer, and she's just still like froze to death somehow.
I think I'm actually stealing your story, because didn't you have a story about like an air conditioner and some guy who had to be really cold or
something like that? I think, yeah.
I don't remember if it was any good, but
probably not. No,
it was an old story.
If neither one of us can remember it that well.
Which I think is just you stealing off of the well, you probably didn't steal because you didn't. I'm sure you didn't read it. There's the H.P. Lovecraft story I really like, where it's a guy, same premise. And I think it was actually an episode of The Night Gallery, too. It was based off this Lovecraft story. I don't remember the name, but the guy, he was like a doctor, scientist or something, and his apartment was incredibly cold, and he meets a woman. I don't know if in the story he meets a woman. I don't think so. I don't think it was the romantic subplot that the TV show had. Regardless, his room is incredibly cold. And this is early 1900s, 1800s. So he built like this AC system that didn't exist, and kept himself really cold. But eventually what happens is the thing breaks, and you find out why he can't go out, because he said he has some sickness where he has to be really cold and he can't go out. Turns out he was dead. the whole time, and he was just preventing the rot. So it was almost like a cool zombie story before zombies.
Yeah.
So I like that premise, but I want to do the reverse where it's like somebody has to be cold.
Right.
And by the way, folks, I'm probably going to completely abandon this idea because this doesn't sound good as I'm saying it. Like, I'm pretty sure I've heard this.
Yeah.
Or seen this premise in various ways. Like, I remember a scene from Night of the Living Dead, the punk rock one. I don't know if that's 2, 3, 4. I don't remember. Return of the Living Dead, actually. There was a scene where the guys are getting colder because they're zombies. Like, they're turning into zombies, and they're just getting really, really cold, and, like, the doctor examines them, the mortician or whatever, and he's like, oh, you have no heartbeat. Oh, you're freezing. You're dead. You're dead. But they're like, we're talking. What do you mean we're dead? I like that idea, but maybe I'll come up with something else. What about you? What do you got here? You were talking about you want to do like a supernatural.
Maybe, like, you know.
Maybe look up some, you were talking about like folk stories or something. Maybe look up some Native American stories.
Or like, and I don't know if this is just in my head just because like the book that I read before starting the Divine Comedy, it took place in Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking maybe like try to do something in Alaska because it's like it's always winter in Alaska.
Not always. They have summer.
Like for like a week.
Yeah. You know, it'd be good. You know what I want to read, Spencer? And you're just the guy to write it. A good Wendigo story.
Yeah.
Oh, dog farts.
Oh, he farted. Is that what that is?
Yeah, you smell the sour. His ass is facing you, so you got it before me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that stale beefaroni.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a good Wendigo story I'm always down for.
And then he leaves after.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, do you think I would be able to go and actually call it like a Wendigo? I'd have to come up with something else.
Why? Wendigo's not a trademark term.
It's
just the name of a spirit.
Yeah. But the only thing I worry about is like Marvel uses it too.
But they're just taking it. That's like using Thor. You're allowed to use Thor.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Wendigo's a Native American folklore monster. That's like saying Bigfoot. You can use Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or anything like that. Loch Ness Monster might actually be copyrighted because it's Loch Ness is a place.
Yeah.
But the Abominable Snowman, anything like that, that's free range because no one can own an idea.
Right.
At least yet. Till Disney figures it out.
Yeah, right. See, the only thing that I worry about, because like my initial two like avenues I kind of gravitated whenever you first sent me this was either like some kind of monster thing or serial killer murdering people like out in the snow, like maybe like a house out far out in the woods where it's snowing and somehow this guy is like slowly like taking people out or something like that.
It'd be an interesting story. Bigfoot hunters get embroiled in a serial killer scheme. Like a serial killer is killing Bigfoot hunters. This would probably be longer than that, but it would be they're trying to find Bigfoot. Maybe they actually start getting close.
Yeah,
and then somebody starts killing these people. Is it Bigfoot? Is it somebody working with Bigfoot? Is it just a guy that wants Bigfoot all to himself?
Yeah.
Is it DB Cooper?
DB Cooper?
I don't know. That doesn't really have anything to do with the cold though.
Well, maybe what it is like I could have. There is like a group of like these people that are maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a shitty show on like on a History Channel or whatever, like the Monster Hunters. So
maybe it's two groups competing.
Yeah, and then so they
Bigfoot Hunger Games.
So that maybe they go out into the wilderness to try to find this creature or whatever, and then they find it.
He likes it.
Yeah,
you like that idea?
That or he wants peanut butter. One of the two.
You want peanut butter? I don't know if we have any, but I shouldn't have said that out loud. Now he's gonna want it. He's just staring daggers through me with his piercing blue eyes.
Yes.
Why are you doing that, bro? Cold. Another idea. See, this, in the thing it said more wintry because I like morgue stories. If you know.
Yeah.
I'm a morgue guy. Let me give this guy peanut butter, folks. We're gonna go on break. It's 20-minute mark, and I am
intermission.
Do. Actually, got intermission music. We'll use.
Oh, nice.
And we're back. Woohoo! Back again. Guess who's back? DPW's back again. So we were talking about cold stuff. Cold. Know what's cold?
Cold.
Italian ice is cold. I want a story of Italian ice made of blood.
Made of blood.
Italian ice man, but everything's blood.
With that Italian ice that gives you a permanent brain freeze.
A brain freeze that never ends. That'd be a nightmare.
Oh my god.
Fucking awful. I was thinking also the monster route.
Yeah.
I thought of a story, but I couldn't think of a way to make it really long. Mainly, I just had the images. So, like a group of people ice skating on a clear lake, like a frozen lake, and then they see a big monster swim underneath. And the monster gets them, but then one guy scrambles to shore, and then he's like, oh, God, I made it. But then it turns out it's not a fish monster, it's a monster, and it can go on land. Maybe a good blob story.
Yeah.
Frozen blob.
Well, that could always just be like the opening.
Could. And then just go on a rampage, Godzilla style.
That, or, then the morning comes over and somebody sees these bodies in the lakes or whatever, and that can be like the deputy goes and tries to investigate, or...
I think it's hard to make a scary monster story, like giant monsters. Like to write them. Like movie-wise, it could be better because it's a visual medium, but I don't know. I'm pretty much tapped out on ideas now.
How about so like we talked about like Wendigos or like the Bigfoot or Yeti kind of things.
Yeah.
What about if it's more of like the maybe I don't say maybe like the verses, like, and then like people get caught in between. Like could you imagine like if you were out in the woods and you getting like chased down by both like a Yeti and like a Wendigo or whatever, and they're fighting over you.
Just folklore monster universe.
Yeah, something like that, or
you know what could be cool along those lines? Because I'm sure there's some cool mythology we could find. Some Viking horror, Viking age horror,
and just have it take place during the Viking times. Yeah,
yeah, and maybe some kind of monster or god or ice giant or something takes out a whole group of Vikings, and then you have the lone survivor or a couple survivors. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I've also been really drawn lately to stories set in early American history. So think like 1700s.
Yeah.
Like just you think of that, like it's just a creepy time period. You know, at best you have a log cabin.
Right.
Everything's shitty. You're eating dirt.
You don't, and also that like that time you don't know things, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things aren't as widely known. It's easier to believe something crazy or weirder, happening.
The American landscape's more wild than not.
Yeah.
Like very wild. And then when the winters came, they were cold, Spencer. How cold? Very cold.
Well, that's like there was a comic book being put out by Image called I forget the name of it. Manifest Destiny. And it's basically, it was like Lewis and Clark doing the whatever trail that they did. What was their,
The Oregon Trail?
Yeah. But it's them, like, as they're doing this, coming across different creatures and monsters and things like that, because back then things weren't explored. People didn't know, like, you know what I mean? I don't really know what the story is necessarily about because I never read any of the issues, but like that was just kind of like the elevator pitch of it. So you could be like something like that, but then like they get stuck during like the winter,
right,
and run into something.
Let's move on to grim fairy tale style.
Okay,
thinking more Yuletide horror. So for the Christmas season and the holiday season, what could we do with Christmas stuff that make it scary? Elves are scary. They could be scary.
They're I mean,
Santa himself can be scary. Right. He's breaking into your house and he's a shapeshifter and can go down chimneys.
Yeah, he morphs his body.
Yeah.
What do you think if you could do that? Why would you always be so fat?
Maybe to keep warm because he's on a sled. But his sled has no roof or enclosing.
Yeah.
Or he eats a lot of cookies too. Why does he have to be old?
Yeah.
What does he look like when he's giving it to Mrs. Claus?
Oh.
Hey. Krampus. There's too many Krampus stories now.
Yeah. Krampus is kind of went mainstream.
Yeah. I don't like fucking Krampus.
I mean, when there's been like multiple American Dad episodes of Krampus.
Yeah, that's stupid now. That's scary.
Or maybe you can make up your own bad thing that like tortures all the bad people, all the
bad children.
The bad children.
Why is it only the bad children and never the bad adults? Why is it just a lump of coal?
I don't know.
Because, in this day and age, a lump of coal is kind of worthwhile.
Yeah, you could use that for something.
Coal stuff, fires.
Cook some things, make heat.
Yeah. What if a kid wanted a lump of coal for Christmas, but he was good? What does Santa do?
Oh, yeah.
Paradox.
Do you give him the coal?
But then that would signify he's a bad kid.
Yeah.
But if you...
But so you give him something he doesn't even want. You give him like a new bike and he's just like, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... What if you gave Hank Hill...
coal? I tell you what.
That damn Santa Claus, I tell you what. That's more Boomhauer. I tell you what.
This was a little bit harder than what I think we initially thought.
What, cold stuff?
Yeah. When we came up with the brainstorming idea, like...
I don't know, but if I do the cold story, I got a name.
Yeah?
Shiver.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
And she pees icicles. That's going to be a scene.
Ooh.
Think about that. If your body is like fucking really cold and you're peeing, cold pee, what are your poops going to be like? How's your bumhole dilate?
Like Frosties.
Yeah, like how would your body function? You try to eat food.
Did you say, was it going to be like an old, because it was a lady, right?
Yeah.
Was it going to be like an older lady?
Nah, young with hot knockers.
Just so she's so cold and there's a...
She'll be a new mom, so there would be a scene where she breastfeeds and it's icy. Ew. The baby gets stuck to the tit like licking a metal pole. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back to the body horror stuff.
Yeah,
I'm fucking cranking on that baby's head to get
just the pain.
Yeah, but think there is something there though, because think about like when you get really cold and then like your hands go numb and then you warm them up, the pain.
Oh yeah,
that comes after that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, how many times whenever we were the buggy guys and we were just getting these metal carts out in, like, -degree weather with our shitty thin gloves that are soaked through.
With holes.
And we thought it was her, and then we finally get inside to warm up for a minute, and then that's just when the pain comes in, and you're just like,
Always flirting with the frostbite. That's what we did every day, but wonder why we got joint pain.
What about if, like, so you're at, like, a ski resort, and then, you do that thing where, the people get stuck on the lift, but since you're so high up on the lift, they have this view, and, like, that, they just see the fucking, this whatever, like, if you go, like, the monster route, or even just maybe, like, a serial killer route, you just see the one or two people you have up in the lift of just, they just have this, they're just able to see it all happen. Without being able to do anything, or, and the people might not even, the thing might not even know that they're up there because, so they have to try to be quiet.
Yeah.
Something too,
Yeah. Yeah, you have a whole story set in a stupid ski lift.
10,000 words in a ski lift.
And then you get to just see an explosion of blood in the ski lift, and and then the next ski lift, explosion of blood. And then the people at the bottom or the top, whichever way you're going, they're looking like, oh shit, it's coming to us. And they don't know what to do, and they're too high to jump.
Yeah.
That could be your thing. It's like, what's making these people explode? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Or they could see an entity coming into each one and murdering. Right. That would be fucking actually kind of scary, because like you see the incoming doom, but how do you...
You can't do anything. It's like you either embrace that, or you take your luck point jumping like 30 feet from the air into a frozen ice pit.
Maybe they're floating over a river of blood. No. I'm also, because I'm drawn, because you keep saying serial killer, to the old Victorian London in the winter is always a good one.
That's true, yeah, because it wasn't specific about a time period.
No. Actually, you know what? Screw that, because that just brings Jack the Ripper shit and that awful body story we just read. Fuck that. No, what would
Stay away as far away from that as possible.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel or comic. I'm thinking actually which way I'm going to go.
Okay.
I think I'm going to find a way to work this in. I want to do a Japanese mythological entity story dealing with cold.
Okay.
Because that is fun, because they got some fucking monsters. Like they got these folklore monsters like spirits of women, or they look like women, and they ask you a question, and if you answer wrong, they like kill you, or they'll follow you, and if you look at them, they can, like there's so many.
I remember you did something like that in one of your for one of your stories.
Yeah, I wrote one. It was about a woman, like a American tourist in Japan, and he goes to a bar and he meets this woman and they go to a bar together, and I think she's also supposed to be American, but something's off about her. And I almost have that one. I never went into it, so the people who read that believe it was supposed to be like a Japanese mythology thing. I was actually, from what I remember, thinking more like almost like a succubus, but not quite.
Yeah.
Because it's not a Japanese person. I don't think it was anyway, but
I think you made it sound like it seemed like she might have been American, she might have been Japanese, or she might have been some kind of
like mixed
race,
Yeah, I really don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was early on.
Yeah, I still have that story. I like that story from what I remember, but I'll have to go back, probably edit it and
rewrite all of it.
Maybe I'll just make it set in snow and just submit that.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a half bad idea.
No, I don't remember how long that story is, though.
It was, it might have been over 10,000 words, probably. I think a lot of those stories at that time were like 15,000-ish. I'd rather write a new one, though. I've been enjoying writing new stories. Man, that story I had for Horoscope just fit the bill so well.
That would have been so, yeah.
Because for those who haven't read that story, it's called Bathed in Starlight. And it's about during like the 70s and 80s, but all the way up to the 2000s, there was something called Starlight Tours that were done in Canada, in Saskatchewan. And it was basically racist police would take indigenous Canadians, like say like, like an indigenous Canadian was at the bar and came out drunk. They would give them a ride, quote unquote, and they would just drive them out to like a field out on the outskirts of town. And it gets like negative 40 degrees or 80 degrees, whatever, like ridiculous,
It doesn't even have to be that far out.
Like you're 10 minutes outside and you're dead, kind of cold. And they would just drop them off in random fields and just make them walk back and they would die. So my story was about, this happens to a young guy who just lost his mother. And the first half of the story is him dealing with the cops. Like he's leaving a bar, he's drunk, they pick him up, they do this to him. And, it's about him being so cold and he dies. And then the second half is they pick up a woman and then they don't realize at first that she's indigenous. And then they see her face and they go, oh, okay. And they do the same thing to her. And then it turns out she is the spirit, the evil spirit, well, not evil, revengeful spirit of the kid's mom. And she kills the cops in the snow. And it's pretty graphic, real graphic. And that was, I like that story. I think it would have been a good one for this, but I mean, it's already in an anthology, so I'm happy. But this one pays a lot more.
Yeah. Well, what about maybe like something in like Russia?
I don't know much about enough about Russia, even like Siberia. Like I know it's cold and stuff, but I don't know enough about the culture to make it. Because when I do things set in other countries, I like to know the culture,
Yeah, do the research and stuff.
I don't like it to sound like just some American doing his fucking stupid hodgepodge of, Russians like borscht and Russians play with guns and vodka and potatoes. Like I don't want to do that. Like my Japanese stories I try to make it fairly authentic. Like if it's an American in Japan, I want to make it more of a like what an American experience in Japan would be like, but not like a caricature.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do just a Japanese story with Japanese people, that's a little trickier because I'm not Japanese.
Yeah.
But I think I'm proficient enough in what I've read for enough Japanese fiction that I can make it sound all right. But like
and yours are like studying the language and stuff too.
Yeah. And then like Irish stories, I could do that, and even like maybe like England would be one I would have to research a little bit more, just like the slang and stuff. But like Russia, I have no fucking clue.
True.
Like Russia, pretty much anywhere in Africa, China,
everybody just be going da.
Korea, South American. I could do Mexico, and I guess Canada. That's it. I don't know. Can't even do Hawaii properly. But you know what? This isn't about me, Spencer. You're supposed to be coming up with a story for you. I got at least ideas.
Yeah. I don't know, like maybe that. I mean, you did bring up an interesting like Wendigo kind of thing. So it's just what would could I do for like to fit within like that 10,000 word frame like.
Well, first you'd have to watch some videos on Wendigo to really get not just the history, but the understanding of
how the curse works and things like that.
Because even Pet Sematary technically is a Wendigo story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's Pet Sematary. You bury it and they rise from the grave. But if you remember, like I haven't read the books, I don't know, but from the movie, when they're going through the woods, there's like I think like a spirit looking like something's. I don't remember if it's like following them but there's like some kind of spirit supposedly around, like an evil spirit. That's a Wendigo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I do remember them mentioning something.
I think that's why the Pet Cemetery is evil, because it's a Wendigo. Mm. It's a different take on a Wendigo. I don't know. I don't remember exactly like what Wendigos do. I think they I don't know if they take your souls. I don't think they just like straight up kill you, but they're just like a malevolent spirit.
Isn't it kind of like? And now, granted, again, this is just like what I take from like comics and I read and stuff like that. But like, can a Wendigo like turn you into a Wendigo?
I think it turns you in. Here, let's look it up. So, a Wendigo is a mythological creature or evil spirit originating from the folklore of Plains and Great Lakes natives, as well as some First Nations. What does the Wendigo do, Spencer?
Wendigo does what a Wendigo does, because a Wendigo does what a Wendigo does.
I like what you said. So Wendigos are associated with winter, the north, coldness, and famine and starvation. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
That is perfect. I'm already thinking of like a starvation story in the winter. I think I wrote a story a long time ago like that, like a flash fiction or something. So Wendigo is actually seen as the embodiment of gluttony, greed, and excess. They're never satisfied after killing and consuming one person. They are constantly searching for new victims. I remember a historical story of a Wendigo. This is like a real story. I'm going to kind of fuck it up here because I don't remember. It's been a while. It was on a podcast. I think it was on Lore, maybe. I listened to it. But they were talking, either that or that Myth and Legends podcast. But they were talking about a guy and he murders his family, and I think he eats them or something. But this is like apparently really happened, and then he like claimed that he was possessed by a Wendigo.
Maybe what it could be is like a
human cannibalism's a big part of it.
See, I was gonna say like maybe like a hunting party is out. Like, they're like going like they're doing like night hunting that they're not supposed to be, doing.
And you can go, if you want, you can go the realistic route where you write it as a, supernatural thriller horror where it's this Wendigo causing these people to kill each other and eat each other, or whatever you're going with. But then it turns out there is no Wendigo. It's just their fucking, mass psychosis.
They got lost and just...
Or what was popular at the time. Well, I'm assuming you were dating this, but even if it was modern, maybe they ate some kind of food that was, had fungi on it that they didn't know, or something that gave them this, like, psychosis, hallucinations, because that's how the Salem witch trials, they think, came about, was a fungus on the bread.
Oh, okay.
Or on the wheat crop, and they ate it, and it made them fucking think people were witches.
Yeah.
So you can, there's a lot of history in the United States with things like that. So you can, it's tough to not write a story like that without info dumping that part at the end.
True.
Be like, oh yeah, they just ate some fungi bread, and then now they're eating each other.
Yeah.
But the hunting party, like that could be a fun one too.
Yeah, maybe something with like that Wendigo, because I don't think you get too much of that anymore.
No. Remember, the focus got to be cold.
Cold, yeah.
In the winter.
Hunting's doing it winter time. And then maybe that could be the thing. Like, these people are out hunting when they're not supposed to be hunting. So, like, that also plays into with, like, the gluttony and and, like, the, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it works. All right, I think we did enough.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied with my story. I'm probably good. Like I said, I'll probably just completely go something different. I don't know. I'll shoot some ideas around in my brain.
Yeah. See what spills out.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, if you want to check us out on the old social media, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at DPW Podcast. I'm drinking that beer, that Mad Elf.
Mad Elf.
High proof, bro. High proof, 11%. You can follow me at CalebJamesK.com, where I mainly just been posting the podcast. I need to actually get back to writing stuff. When my story doesn't make the cut, my 300-word story, I'll probably put it on there. And there's a bunch of stories I'm waiting to hear back for that were journal or magazine specific. And if they don't go on the, they don't get accepted, I'll probably just put it on the website.
Yeah, just put it on the website.
I'll start all that in the new year. You can follow Spencer's OnlyFans this year, month, week, day, whatever time period this is. He is the Arlington Ass Annihilator. No. Anal Assaulter. No, that wasn't it.
Something a lot nicer than that.
I don't remember. Angry Argonaut. That was the good one. You could have been the Arlington Angry Argonaut. No, I made you the Arlington. I don't remember.
What was the scene? Wasn't it the
Attitude adjuster.
Yeah. Is that what I was doing?
I am retroactively changing Spencer's OnlyFans name. So if you want to see him be an angry Argonaut from Jason and the Argonauts mythological quest, you can do that at his OnlyFans. I'm sorry. Attitude adjusting, it's fun to go around attitude adjusting old people or scolding young kids or whatever you're doing. But I think the Argonaut stuff, a little better.
Is where the money's at.
A little highbrow. Wish I would have thought of it earlier. Anyway, thank you for listening, and we will check you out next.
I think we still have one more week of
normal week.
A normal week, yeah, I think so.
So next Monday will be normal recording, but I'm trying to see, is the episode supposed to drop on Christmas?
Oh, for the next week, probably.
When the episode drops, that's the...
No, because Christmas is on Monday, we drop on Tuesday, right?
Oh, yeah. I can't believe we record on Monday. Folks, disregard all that. We'll check you out next week.
Yeah.
Bryce, what are you doing?
Trying to, game.
What?
This game is really hard.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Dude, you're supposed to be playing the game for next week's episode of Arcade Bookshop.
I mean, I will. I'm really close to beating this.
Right. And what about the book?
Huh?
We're supposed to finish a book for the podcast too?
Oh yeah, I finished that last week. Yes!
Oh, did you finally beat it?
Uh-huh. The first level.
Oh boy.
You can listen to new episodes of Arcade Bookshop every other Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your pods. You'll always find us with a controller in one hand and a book in the other.
Hey, Caleb, you wanted to see me?
Ah, Spencer, my good fellow. I've been expecting you.
Yeah, so did you want something or...
Want? Goodness, no. Require.
Require?
Yes. I require your services for the briefest of moments.
Okay.
Surely you can see the predicament I'm in.
Well, actually, no, I can't. I lost my glasses at the pub last night.
A pub, you say? Surely you can't be serious.
As serious as a fought during a recto, because I am. And stop calling me Shirley.
Rightio. Anyway, if your spectacles were affixed upon your face, you'd see that I, the host of the most prodigious writing and books podcast in the business, has been immobilized by a rather substantial stack of fallen folios.
What?
My to-read pile finally fell on me while I was taking a nap.
But you're on a podcast table.
I hardly see how that matters.
And you're naked.
I hardly see how that matters.
Dude, your hairy ass is touching my drink coaster.
I hardly see how that matters.
It matters to me.
Can you just unbury me?
No way. Your reckless reading got you into this mess.
Blockhead! Wait! Don't go! There's a copy of War and Peace wedged in my taint. Spencer! Can you at least leave me a bottle of whiskey? Hello? Can't get enough drunken nonsense? Listen to new episodes of the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast every Tuesday wherever you get your pods.